The African continent is blessed with a lot of riches, including iron, coltan, bauxite, uranium, oil, gold, diamonds, and many other valuable resources. Yet, most nations in Africa live in extremely poor conditions. There are some nations in the sub-Saharan region that are doing fairly well, but almost all that are located south of the Sahara Desert are barely surviving. It is baffling how a continent that has so many natural resources has so little effect on the quality of people's lives. As a matter of fact, it is so baffling that it has become one of the greatest mysteries of the modern age. People call it the curse of riches. According to the World Bank and the International Poverty Line, countries in which people have less than $1.25 income per capita per day are considered poor. The United Nations Development Programme has several indicators that measure poverty in countries around the globe, including Africa. These indicators include life expectancy at birth, average school attendance period, expected school attendance period, and per capita income. The UN believes that education is closely linked to poverty because people who can't read and write have very little chance to get a high-paying job and build their future. Here are a few facts about poverty in Africa. Not many know that more than a quarter of hungry people in the world live in Africa. Not only that, but 1/5 of all people living in Africa are malnourished, giving the African continent the highest rate of malnourished people in the world. Children are so malnourished that more than 30% of African kids grow up with a growth disorder. Children who suffer from such disorders are also mentally underdeveloped in comparison to children who don't. The sub-Saharan region has the highest infant mortality, and 3 of the 4 countries with the highest mortality rate in the world are in Africa. Statistics say that 1 in 15 children don't live past their 5th birthday. Most children between the ages of 5 and 17 go to work instead of going to school or playing outside. According to the data, 59 million children are cheated out of their childhood and sent to work so they can give their families a chance to survive, which means that child labor is a common problem in Africa. Causes of poverty in Africa. There are many reasons why people in Africa are living in extreme poverty and under the international poverty line, and some of them are closely linked. Number 1. Growth of population. Despite the high mortality rates and numerous education campaigns, the population of the African continent is increasing rapidly, and economic growth and development success just can't keep up. The result is extreme poverty, and according to a study conducted by UNICEF, the population of Africa will reach 2 billion people by 2050. Number 2. War and crisis. In 2013, there were 20 war-related conflicts all over the world. Out of those 20, 11 were fought in Africa, and all of them in sub-Saharan Africa. Whenever there is a crisis in a region, all agricultural production stops. People flee or are expelled from their homes by force, and they become dependent on help from outside sources, which in turn leads to poverty. Number 3. Climatic changes. Over the last few decades, the African continent has suffered a lot due to climatic changes. Countries have experienced devastating floods and drought periods that last so long all crops fail. The unfortunate consequences include famine and hunger crises across the entire continent. Number 4. Illnesses. Lack of education in Africa means that there is not enough medical staff or adequate medical care, so diseases can't be treated well enough and they spread faster. The most common diseases in Africa are Ebola, malaria, and AIDS, which are the cause and result of poverty. Additionally, the increasing mortality rate reduces lifespan and leads to loss of labor, which in turn means that there are not enough people to work in agriculture and not enough food is produced for everyone. Number 5. Inadequate agricultural infrastructure. Good agricultural infrastructure and expertise are lacking in many regions of Africa. This means there are not enough wells, irrigation systems, roads, storage facilities, agricultural machinery, and so on. The only way to fight hunger is through local self-help, which is not that prominent in most underdeveloped regions. Number 6. Unjust trade structures. The development of agriculture in Africa is slowed down by rich countries that create unjust trading structures by shielding their markets. The way they do that is by imposing high agricultural tariffs and heavily subsidizing their own infrastructure. Unfortunately, illnesses, years of drought and warfare make the majority of the African continent one of the worst places to live in the world. However, many programs in Africa are trying to alleviate the situation, so consider donating to one of the programs of your choice. So, did you know that the living conditions in Africa are so dire? If you did, are you doing anything to help those in need? Let us know in the comment section below.